Bitch boy, no glory, all stories in the trash. Pathetic, deceptive, turn your dreams to ash. You painted your own mess, now drowned in the doubt. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. You became the cringe, the laughing stock of it all. Claiming awards, but it's just a paper wall. Blogging ain't journalism, see that's the crime. Real talk, you're spitting slime, wasting all of our time. Shout out to Baker Broken, he's down with a cause. Don't you dare attack, that ain't no applause.
Stand with the real, never with the fakes. Cause we don't fuck with clowns and all the moves they make.
Bitch boy, no glory, your stories in the trash. Pathetic, deceptive, turned your dreams to ash. You painted your own mess, now drown in the doubt. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. You became the cringe, the laughing stock of it all. Claiming awards, but it's just a paper wall. Blogging ain't journalism, see that's the crime. Real talk, you're spitting slime, wasting all of our time. Shout out to Baker Broken, he's
Yo, Turtle Boy, you think you run the game, but your followers are lost. Just look at their aim.
A cult-like crew chanting stupid as bliss, but ignorance ain't gold, man, it's just a hit or miss. You're like the last school, locking folks away, trying to cure the world with your twisted cliche. Take stupid out of society, that's your big scheme, but you're the punchline, bro, a meme. Turtle boy, what's your claim to fame? Lost in a sea of nonsense, playing a sad game.
You think you're the boss in a world full of wisdom, you're just breaking the rule. Look around, turtle, you're swimming in trash while the real ones are rising, we're making a splash. You think you're the boss in a world full of wisdom, you're just breaking the rule. Look around, turtle, you're swimming in trash while the real ones are rising, we're making a splash.
You're making Yo, we're making a splash. Yo, we're making. Let's set the record straight. No splash. Yo, Turtle Boy. You think you run the game, but your followers are lost. Just look at the aim. A cut like crew chanting stupid is bliss. But ignorance ain't gold, man, it's just a hit and miss. You're like the lad school, locking folks away, trying to cure the world with your twisted cliche. Take stupid out of society, that's your big scheme, but you're the punchline, bro, a living meme. No, Turtle Boy, what's your claim to fame? Lost in the sea of nonsense, playing a sad game. You think you're the boss, but you're just breaking the rules. In a world full of wisdom, you're acting the fool. Turtle boy, what's your claim to fame? Lost in the sea of nonsense.
Yo, bring me close to the Turtle Boy. Feel the earth shake. Thunder echoes like a prophet's call, a warning in the wake.
Turtle Boy, you're rooted deep, but the storms gotta rise. Every shadow in your calm holds deception in disguise. Just like a gale that turns to steel, no time for hesitation. The heavens crash down heavy, ready for revelation. I feel the thunder rolling, hear the whispers in the trees. Watch the tranquil sea shatter, catch the eye of destiny. Patience is a beast, my friend, silent and immense, but push him to the edge, watch the world tremble tense.
Oh, Turtle Boy, get ready for the ride, yeah. When the weight of wrath rushes in, there's nowhere left to hide. The tidal wave of justice sweeping lies away. It's the quiet storm rising, revolution's here to play.
Yeah. You thought you could hold it down, keep that silence tight, but oh, when the fury hits, man, it'll shatter the night. Falsehoods fade like whispers into a distant crash, and in the midst of chaos, watch a weak foundation clash. It's the gentle that shines bright when justice calls it dark.
Yo, bitch boy, listen up, gotta talk to you now. The game's up, we ain't buying what you selling somehow. Yeah, we can't take much more of this bullshit, man. You parade around town like some kind of fan. Award-winning journalist, nah, just a fraud with ballot stuff. Is that the game that you applauded? You ask your chat, what's the hot news today? When it's you in the mirror, the one that led you astray. Bitch boy, no glory, your stories in the trash. Pathetic, deceptive, turn your dreams to ash. You painted your own mess, now drown in the doubt. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. You became the cringe, the laughing stock of it all. Claiming awards, but it's just a paper wall. Blogging ain't journalism, see that's the crime. Real talk, you spitting slime, wasting all of our time. Shout out to Ad Baker Broken, he's down with the cause. Don't you dare attack, that ain't no applause. Stand with the real, never with the fake. Cause we don't fuck with clowns and all the moves they make. Bitch, boy, no glory. Your stories in the trash, pathetic, deceptive. Turn your dreams to ash. You painted your own mess now, drown in the doubt. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. It's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Sick of your lies, tired of your deceit. Shirley Max, man, heard your mama's toughest cries on repeat. This ain't a game, you made your bed, now sleep in the mess. The world ain't your playground, it's time to confess. You thought you were tough, thought we were blind, but now we see the truth and it's making us refine. Aiden Kearney, Kate Peter, all the ones you side with. Your crew's full of losers, that's easy to find it. So back up, take a step, recognize your fate. No sympathy for snakes, yeah, your time's running late. Yeah, bitch, boy, we gon' rise above your lies. This rebel anthem here, the truth that never dies. In the struggle together, no more choking on your spin. We break the bonds you made, it's time to begin. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. This is all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about.
Good morning, everybody. What's going on? How we doing? You know, shout out to everybody. Can't believe that turtle pretended to be afraid of Kate. No shit. For a man that don't come outside, you know, that's a perfect example of someone that don't come outside. You know, so much shit going on. What is going on, everybody, man? Appreciate y'all. I'm happy y'all are tuning in. I wish I went with Kate Friday. I was so mad. She didn't tell me. She said because it was in Leominster and she knows I don't care about that. She might have saved you from a potential charge, you know what I mean? But sooner or later, he's going to get what's coming to him for real. I seen, you know, his sidekick, Jessica Machado, you know, this broad goes online, puffs up her chest like that. Don't take a lot, you know, and like I don't even understand her sometimes, you know. The other day she's talking about child support and putting her baby's daddy out there. Oh no, I know, but I remember what you said you want to do to Turtle Boy the other day, and I said she might have saved you. You know, but yeah, a lot of people want to get face to face with that dude. But yeah, let me find what I was looking for. Go over here. I see Karen, you know, and I said the other day about when she went to court. When she went to court the other day, and you know, that TRO, and I said a TRO is an emergency, and there wasn't nothing an emergency about what they put in for that TRO. You know, we could talk about that. But man, I love it when I see Jessica Machado fall on her face. You know, I think it was Jan Altman that pointed out, you know, all the inconsistencies in this broad's life, you know, the lies, the living arrangements, the loudest person in the smallest room. You know, how do you still live with your mother at 50 years old? You know, let me see if I can get this up on the screen. How do you still live with your mom at 50 years old? Yeah, it's kind of like, I'm like, I don't seem to get it, but Jessica Machado, you know, brags about, you know, how her mom lives with her. And I was like, I think you live with your mother. You know, I think it's the other way around.
Out of Somerset and find a place to live that is exactly what I want or what I need for me and my husband and my mom, if my mom still lives with me, and to move out of Somerset and find a place to live that is exactly what I want or what I need for me and my husband and my mom, if my mom still lives with me.
If my mom's, you mean if you still live with your mother? Because what I remember from the MLS, I think it was your mother that purchased the house. So here she goes online again. You know, I mean, Jennifer Altman definitely been putting Machado in her place calmly, politely, with precision, if I may add. She said, Jessica, you live with your mom. And suddenly it all collapsed like a damn folding chair again that Jessica sat at a family cookout. I mean, any folding chair that Jessica sits in is going to collapse. And that's because of all the bullshit she carries around. You know, but living with her mother isn't the issue. There's nothing wrong with living with your mother, but lying about living with your mother is the issue. Pretending to have a lifestyle you don't have is the issue. Like bragging to all them little bunnies over there, you know, about owning a yacht when you can't even swim is the issue. You know, you talk about the metaphorical elephant in the room. You know, she's online all day, right? She fights with complete strangers. She rants about everyone else's life choices, right? And pretends to be the blueprint for independence. Like, you are the blueprint for independence? But to lie about your living situation, you know, come on, man. The math is not mathing. Does mom still cook dinner? But you're 50 years old, still live with your mom. Crazy. You know? I mean, she said it's given like I talk like a CEO, but live like a dependent vibe. Like, serious. Like, and then there's the age factor, because at a certain point into being an adult, you still try to perform being tough online when someone else is covering the bills. How old are you? How old do you think you are? Because what I gather from all Machado's, you know, 24 on 24, it's like a teenage vibe, not grown woman with responsibilities vibe. I mean, living with family is not shameful. You should never be ashamed to live with family. So anybody listening, you know, living with your parents or something, or living with a family member, there ain't nothing wrong with that. But when you use your mom to buy a house because you and your man can't afford to, because you're losing cars, being repossessed, you know, because your wants and needs are two different things. You know, you worry about what you want, not what you need. But pretending you don't, stop it. Hatchet face. Because independence is something you don't have. You know, so when you're disrespecting others while you hide your own situation, right? I mean, where's the comedy? That's where the comedy's got to start writing itself. I mean, it's like watching this one brag about running a marathon, which we know is not happening, you know, because they're winded just walking up a damn set of stairs. I mean, Jessica's pattern, it just keeps repeating itself. She says shit that's untrue. She says it loud. She says it proud until she gets exposed and pretend it never even happened. You know, at the end of the day, I don't think the truth needs to fight, right? The truth don't need to argue. It don't need to scream. It just waits, because sooner or later, the truth's going to kick the shit out of you. because people who lie about little small things are going to expose themselves on the big things. You know, selling stuff, not delivering it, you know, people's merch. She said a few weeks back that her most expensive purchase was $1,000 laptop. You know, and that wasn't all about Machado. I believe she had something else that let me see if I can find it. She had something else on here about getting into I think a car accident the night of the Wilbur. And I think find it. Yeah, I believe this is it. And I'm glad you all put all this great content up on Twitter. So, you know, it's so easy to find shit to friggin' talk about. You know, I'll get to your messages in a minute. But yeah, so in this next one, it was the night of the Wilbur. You know, Jessica Machado goes online and admits proudly and with confidence, you know, that she got into a car accident the night of the Wilbur, right? And then she's trying to sue the other driver, not because she got hurt. Oh, no. It was because she missed the show at the Wilbur. The ball's on this one.
We got into a car accident the night of the Wilbur. Erin was driving. It was Erin's car.
Oh, Erin was driving. Okay. She wasn't hurt. She didn't need medical attention. She suffered no damages, but she missed the Wilbur.
Erin was not found at fault. When she was found at, it was the other person. I spoke with an attorney about my.
She spoke with a damn attorney. This is probably the first person in history, right, that's going to turn a friggin' fender bender into a Ticketmaster refund.
I spoke with an attorney about my options for filing a lawsuit against the driver of the vehicle. What I talked about was what happened that day and what it meant for my business.
What business? Don't tell me your 24 on 24 is a business. I know you're not surviving off them little ass YouTube checks.
I always felt like right at that time that was an opportunity for me to interact with fans, connect with fans. I'm not saying I was using Aiden's thing, but all.
You were using Aiden's thing? What thing? Oh my God, you pig. I'm sorry, I can't. That's like saying, you know, I was on my way to apply for college and I got into an accident. You know, I'm going to sue the other driver because I'm not a medical doctor now. She was using Aiden's thing.
I'm not saying I was using Aiden's thing, but all content creators and those people benefited from being there. And I met with an attorney who my sister Jamie used to work for. And I sat down and I was like, listen, I think that I could really say that this was the loss of an opportunity.
It was an opportunity. I bet it was. Nurse Kim had an opportunity at the Wilbur that night, from what I heard. I think you outed her for that. You know what I mean? Nurse Kim had an opportunity too. Is her husband gonna sue that also? Nurse Kim's husband's gonna sue because his wife went to the Wilbur. And I don't know if you all know what I'm talking about.
listen, I think like I could really say that this was the loss of an opportunity. I didn't get to go to the event afterwards. We were not really doing all those things. And of course, you know.
So what do y'all think about that? Imagine that. The most people file claims for like medical bills, right? Lost wages, really real injuries. This lady's filing it for because I missed the Wilbur. I wasn't really hurt, but my feelings got hurt. And someone needs to pay for that. Is that the legal equivalent of suing Starbucks because they ran out of your favorite coffee and now you had a shitty ass day? Oh my God, this stuff just keeps getting better. Well, how about Starbucks ran out of my favorite drink, you know, so I couldn't go to work that day. So I need my lost wages because I also got fired for not going to work. But it wasn't my fault I didn't go to work. Starbucks didn't have my favorite drink. My God, man, she is something else. I mean, the hobby she pretends is a career. I mean, and then she pivots as she always does, right? Oh, I'm a journalist, I'm a broadcaster, I'm a media personality. Yeah, right, me too. You know, but meanwhile, everyone else has a real job in the process while doing this. A hobby blog, well, a couple live streams, a woman who spends more time ranting online than working offline. This isn't a career, lady. It's like watching somebody with a damn backyard garden call themselves, I'm a commercial farmer. Ma'am, you are not running CNN. You're running a damn Facebook page with a ring light. I mean, this shit just cracks me up. And then here comes Jennifer Altman, right? Steps in calmly, politely, like a surgeon, says, Jessica, stop lying. And then her whole performance collapses. Done. The issue isn't her damn life. You know, it's the performance of a life she don't have. Pretending this life that you do not have. You are not running a media empire, lady. I mean, really, it's probably closer to, you know, your bedroom studio sponsored by Denial. Hey, welcome to 24 and 24 and back to Bedroom Studio sponsored by Denial. There we go. I mean, these things just write themselves. Boy, Jessica, I don't know, man. I don't know. But give me a minute. I shall be right back.
Dreams to ash, you painted your own mess. Now drown in the doubt. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. It's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Sick of your lies, tired of your deceit. Shirley Max, man, heard your mama's toughest cries on repeat. This ain't a game, you made your bed, now sleep in the mess. The world ain't your playground, it's time to confess. You thought you were tough, thought we were blind, but now we see the truth and it's making us refine. Aiden Kearney, Kate Peter, all the ones you side with. Your crew's full of losers, that's easy to find it. So back up, take a step, recognize your fate. No sympathy for snakes, yeah, your time's running late. Yeah, bitch, boy, we gon' rise above your lies. This rebel anthem, hear the truth that never dies. In the struggle together, no more choking on your spin. We break the bonds you made, it's time to begin. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. This is all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about.
Yo, bitch boy, listen up, gotta talk to you now. The game's up, we ain't buying what you're selling somehow. Yeah,
We can't take much more of this bullshit, man. You parade around town like some kind of fan. Award-winning journalist, nah, just a fraud with valid stuff. Is that the game that you applauded? You ask your chat, what's the hot news today? When the shield not divide, make the difference worthwhile. Now let's get real, it's time to change the narrative. Stand together, bring the positive imperative. Let's be a voice that speaks for the weak. United we rise, broken cultures can't speak. Yeah.
Let's talk about the truth. Let's keep it real. Never's got a history that's hard to conceal. Turtle boy trolls with that fake account vibe. This is a community we gotta unite.
I could slap the donation button on it and call it support, right? But unless donors demand receipts, nobody checks a thing. And that's what I'm saying. If you donated to Trash Barrel's defense fund, demand receipts. Because it's the perfect setup. Like, this dude's committing crimes right online. But everybody's looking in another direction. Everyone's looking at the witness intimidation thing. This is the biggest, I don't know if it's a pyramid scheme, but it's the biggest hustle being done right in front of your eyes.
Yeah. Listen up, it's time to talk. No more hiding behind lies. Let's take a walk.
Can't take much more, your bullshit gets old. You claim you're an award winner, but your heart's ice cold. Fraud and deception, that's your playbook, my dude. Stuffing ballot boxes, you're just stealing the mood. You're not a journalist, nah, you're just a blogger. Wanna be on top, but you're playing the wrong card here. Change the game, now you flip the script. More despicable, every day got your whole life flipped.
Turtle boy, see through the mask you wear. Truth tells, cutting deep like a knife, it ain't fair. Turtle boy, you made this mess, you drown in your lies, only you to blame. It's reflected in your cries. Turtle boy, we see through the mask you wear. Truth cutting deep like a knife, it ain't fair. Turtle boy, you made this mess, you drown in your lies, only you to blame. It's reflected in your cries.
If Baker broke and he stands tall, ain't that the truth? Locked in the battle with the heart of gold. Got proof, Down syndrome, never a reason to attack. You act like a coward hiding in your own whack. You call it journalism, but I see through your game. Pathetic little loser, you should be ashamed. Turn the mirror, see the monster that you grown. Can't wash the dirt, it's forever on your throne.
Turtle boy, we see through the mask you wear. Truth cutting deep like a knife, it ain't fair. Turtle boy, you made this mess, you drown in your lies, only you to blame. It's reflected in your cries. Turtle boy, we see through the mask you wear. Truth cutting deep like a knife, it ain't fair. Turtle boy, you made this mess, you drown in your lies, only you to blame. It's reflected in your cries.
Standing with Aiden, Kate, the will, no thanks. You're marching down a path where nobody gives thanks. Ray from Dallas into McHale, recruit too. Associate to mess with nothing good to pursue. Shirley Max, we heard the toughest cries, mama's pain, but you drowned them all out, left them lost in the rain.
You created the shit you're sitting in now. The world ain't your playground, so take a bow. Can we keep it real? Let's break it down clear. You're not even close to the truth, you just disappear. So hold your breath, think about what you've done. Living in your fantasy, but you're weighing the ton. No applause for the fraud, no crown for the fool. This is from your boy, let the truth be the tool.
We can't take much more,
and neither should you. Time to face the truth. It's the least you can do. Shut it down, turtle boy. Let the real ones rise. This the gritty anthem. No more disguise. Turtle boy.
Yeah. You know the story. It's heavy in the air. When a father turns to shadows, how could you even dare? Yo, Will Henry, you a sucker. Let's break it down. Claim you a man, but where's your crown? Put your hands up, kid. You taught him how to fight, but you ain't fighting right, man. This ain't no light. You grab your son, run off like a thief in the night. Where's the love? This ain't how you raise a child, right? Kicking your son out like he's just a game piece. How you claim to be a dad, forgetting his release. Will Henry, you a sucker. Can't you see the glare? Claiming blackmailing the myth. You think no one cares? Special needs child, you're running from the truth. But every word you spit just reveals your own you. Admitting the violence, it's hard for me to trust. Fighting your kid, nah, that's just unjust. 6'2", but he's still your son at the core. Raising fists over lessons, that ain't what you for. Talk about forgiveness, but you let ego reign. Dragging things out like a puppet on a chain. You think you're tough, man, but underneath is weak. Claiming power with fists when it should be love you seek. Allegations swirling, made public and raw. Yet you try to justify and glaze over the flaw. Just look in the mirror, see the man you become. A name in the charts, but what's under that drum? Will Henry, you a sucker, got all eyes on you. Blackmail and violence, is that the best you can do? Special needs child, you claim it's all fine, but the truth's in the lineup is living in every line. Will Henry, you a sucker, got all eyes on you. Blackmail and violence, is that the best you can do? Special needs child, you claim it's all fine, but the truth's in the lineup is living in every line. Look, I'm not built to watch a man tear down his own. You need to change direction before the seed you sown. A name ain't a warrior. It's the truth that empowers. So rise up, Will, and stop hiding in the towers. Yeah. You know the story. It's heavy in the air. When a father turns to shadows, how could you even dare? Yo.
Listen, if you guys think for 1 minute that you guys know all the truth, I don't care what recording comes out. Because wait till we get our recording of what really is going on. All right. So if I was TB, and this is not a threat, if I was TB, I would call off all the dogs. I would tell everybody to fall back, and I would just kind of just like chill out. That's what I would do if I was him. But hey, keep it going, man. Keep riling everybody up. JFK, everybody, keep it up. Go ahead. And you know what? We're gonna keep talking about it, right? And it's not gonna age well for you, TB, because your peers. It doesn't matter about the people you got in your chat, my man. It's the peers, man. The Dave Portnoys, the Howie Kars, the people at the Wilbur. When they find out what you're really about, what you did to Karen, they're not going to with you, man. They're going to with your money, not this YouTube money. We're talking about Wilbur money. Think about that, man. Think about it.
Yo, it's time we rise and speak the truth. No more blind eye. We ain't shaming, we're claiming all the pain bottled inside. Yeah. Are we shaming the man, not believing his cries? Telling stories so raw like darkness in disguise. Alex stands bold, he's worn the scars on his chest. But the world just keeps on spinning, forgetting the rest. Riding on fumes, the haters all caught in a lie. Silencing survivors, can't believe what you deny. Turtle boy in the shadows, poking fun at the brave. Retry.
My bad. I know I was muted. Welcome back, man. It's always nice to talk about Jessica, aka Hatchet Face. I gotta say, Turtle Boy, man, the funniest part about watching Turtle Boy's platform shrink down to nothing. Even though he keeps insisting that the shit is getting bigger, he's like, "Oh, I'm getting bigger. I'm getting bigger and bigger." No, you're not. It's like someone watching someone stand in the middle of a damn burning building, yelling, "The fire department is jealous of my heat." That was the best I could think of. I'm not. But meanwhile, the numbers are doing the electric slide in the opposite direction. More and more people are just peace. Down thousands of followers on X. Losing about probably 1,000 YouTube subscribers a month. Ooh. So maybe it is working. So keep it up. Giving happy. Oh, whoa. And I'm talking about her giving happy endings or showing how on video. Wow. Thank you. Yes, appreciate it. I seen that. Thank you. Appreciate it. Shout out to you. Thank you for subbing. You know, yeah, JFK was definitely the first channel. Shout out to hip hop, you know, shout out to hip hop. You know, I actually, you know, that's something that I enjoy listening to. I listen to a lot of battle rap, you know, acapella, you know, there's nothing like some good acapella. But shout out to everybody. I appreciate everyone donating. Hit me up on the Cash App, you know, it really helps. I have my new piece of equipment, you know, but I think I got to buy a new computer. So I'm going to, all the Cash App things I get, I've been saving, you know, going to buy another computer. I think if I, let me see, you might be able to see the equipment here, right? Right here. I got my Go XLR, you know, but I don't think the computer I'm using. And I also have, this is a Scratch and Pro program. I have this, just got that. You know, so always got to upgrade. You know, over here I have my, you can't see it, but I got my Pioneer mixer, 2-board mixer. You know, all kinds of shit. Look, still in the box. Microphones. Always trying to upgrade. Always trying to upgrade. So I appreciate everybody. And I just want to come out here and speak the truth. Even though the truth don't need defending, but sometimes people got to be reminded what the truth is. Because you hear some shit over and over again. And, you know, after a while, you start to believe it as being truth.
Mean disparaging things about people.
You're allowed to be mean on the internet.
They hide behind fake names and fake everything.
This makes me mad.
And they think they can attack people and troll people and stalk people.
This is not stalking.
Just because they have a show on YouTube? Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
And the court should not be getting involved.
And if Lauren and I have to go and make legislation about it, we will.
And Melanie Little has that dude's back. Like 100%, right? And he'll shit on everybody. Give him a chance. He'll shit on you too. What's this one?
I don't even know.
What's wrong with people? Why does everyone just have such a hard time like just being nice and not saying mean things and mean disparaging things about people?
You're allowed to be mean on the internet.
They hide behind fake names and fake everything.
This makes me mad.
And they think they can attack people and troll people and stalk people.
This is not stalking.
Just because they have a show on YouTube? Yeah, no, that's not going to happen.
And the court should not be getting involved.
And if Lauren and I have to go and make legislation about it, we will. Fake names are now going to be prosecuted.
I don't even know.
It's great watching this guy. You know, thankfully, many have sent videos to his word showing the lies into the court already. That's a start. There you go. What that boy said in court yesterday was insanity. Lies before the court. I put a bunch of videos in the
called Ghetto Mellow on Twitter. And I don't give a fuck. Ghetto Mellow was fucking hilarious. And Meredith loved Ghetto Mellow because we all love Ghetto Mellow. Ghetto Mellow is a shame he didn't have more followers. Okay. He was a parody of Ken Mello, but like ghetto. And he's like, yo, what up, Bettero? You know, we gonna fuck you up in court, dog. Like kind of the shit like that. Okay. And I deactivated Ghetto Mellow about 2 months ago after 5150 outed me as like the person behind it. I just didn't want to deal with it. So I just deactivated it. 2 days ago, Ghetto Mellow was back, but it's not me. I don't
know, man. The only thing that this is his own words. I mean, he used his own words, and it's just unraveling all by itself. This guy tries to he burns every bridge and tries to rewrite every story and blames everyone else except himself.
I'm not running that account. Meaning,
look at his face,
somebody
lying.
Logged into Ghetto Mellow and reactivated the account.
You did. You did. Just like you didn't do the wiretapping. You're just panicking now. You know, the panic's behind these new narratives.
I had a parody account called Ghetto Mellow on Twitter. And I don't give a fuck. Ghetto Mellow was fucking hilarious. And Meredith loved Ghetto Mellow because we all love Ghetto Mellow. Ghetto Mellow is a shame he didn't have more followers.
I mean, really, right? Every time Turtle Boy tries to deny owning the Ghetto Mellow account, the internet is pretty good at collectively like reacts like somebody watching a toddler hide behind a curtain. Like, we know it's there. We can see you. We've always seen you. Come on from behind that curtain. And now, right, thanks to posts like the one, you're looking at, everyone else sees it too. Look, at the time the Ghetto Mellow account was interacting with Kate, he owned it, right? And there's like 25 different forms of proof, IP address data, so this isn't who done it, right? This is he did it and he won't stop talking about it. And this is why, like, his attorney should just be telling him to stay the fuck offline. Yeah. He claimed it was an Australian account. He treats every interaction, like a future weapon, basically, right? Every conversation, this guy, like it's a friggin' hostage. And what happens? Every ally he has is a temporary inconvenience for this guy. He has no loyalty. He wasn't even loyal to Ghetto Mellow. The Ghetto Mellow denial is the funniest part. It isn't just unbelievable. It's insulting. Like somebody insisting that they didn't eat the cookies while they're in a friggin' pile of crumbs on their face. There's just receipts everywhere, bro.
Okay. He was a parody of Ken Mello, but like ghetto. And he's like, yo, what up, Bettero? We gonna fuck you up in court, dog. Like kind of the shit like that. Okay.
And going after your own attorney is crazy, going after Bettero and doing all that shit to Bettero is just crazy. And he keeps trying to Jedi mind trick everyone else. Like, we all stupid. We're not as stupid as he is. These are not accounts you're looking for. The account sounded like him. I mean, this guy's been making fake accounts forever. The only mystery here is why he thinks anyone is even confused.
And I deactivated Ghetto Mellow about 2 months ago after 5150 outed.
He tries to, spin his way out of shit. The wiretapping issue is now in the court system. And Ghetto Mellow account is being tied back to him. Look, prior bad acts, man. This stuff's going to get up and bite him. I don't know why his lawyers are telling him to just get off the internet. Oh, it's the only way I fight my case. No, the only way you're screwing yourself. The screenshots, you're trying to ransom, don't show what you're claiming. And the conspiracy that you're trying to pin on Karen Reed, well, I think that collapsed under its own weight. So you ain't being strategic, buddy. you are cornering yourself.
To me as like the person behind it, I just didn't want to deal with it, so I just deactivated it. That the September 25th incident in which Jennifer McCabe was parked outside the Proctor's house, and I published a picture of it. And then what did I do? I asked people if they could run a license plate for me, and a few people did. One of them.
A few people did. Imagine that, like, people. How could you ever, like, he's throwing people under the bus for running license plates for him. At what point do they, as lawyers, say that this is making us look way too foolish? I am out. You know, his receipts definitely don't match his bullshit.
Was named Janelle Webb, and she was a dispatcher for the Avon Police Department. And so she ran a license plate that I gave her, didn't know who it was for, and it came back with the name Matt McCabe. Now I knew it was Jennifer McCabe's car, but I was asked, can you verify this? Sure. So I verified it with the dispatcher. We ran a plate and I published that. What happened with that? What happened as a result of that? I was indicted for 3 counts of conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. 3 counts of it. Indicted. So was Janelle Webb. She was never arraigned, but she was indicted for 3 counts of witness intimidation, and she lost her job over that. Now you're seeing messages from Karen Reed in contact with me at that exact time.
This guy is like unbelievable.
Those are exact. I would like to point out that the September 25th incident in which Jennifer McCabe was parked outside the Proctor's house, and I published a picture of it. And then what did I do? I asked people if they could run a license plate for me, and a few people did. One of them was named Janelle Webb, and she was a dispatcher for the Avon Police Department. And so she ran a license plate that I gave her, didn't know who it was for, and it came back with the name Matt McCabe. Now I knew it was Jennifer McCabe's car, but I was asked, can you verify this? Sure. So I verified it with the dispatcher. We ran a plate and I published that. What happened with that? What happened as a result of that? I was indicted for 3 counts of conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. 3 counts of it. Indicted. So was Janelle Webb. She was never arraigned, but she was indicted for 3 counts of witness intimidation, and she lost her job over that. Now you're seeing messages from Karen Reed in contact with me at that exact time.
This guy is something else, huh? Throws people under the bus like nothing.
Heard both. I have no idea. Maybe somebody knows.
Is impounded. That was impounded. And then,
so someone got a hold of it?
well, I sent it to a former girlfriend, you know, and it, like, or I think it was on a Google Drive. I don't even know the whole story. Whatever. Okay, it's my fault, right? Like, but when you trust someone, right, and then it's like,
A-Rock says, wait, which is it? Meredith stole it when he was at the gym, or it wouldn't load to his computer, so they had to use hers. I've heard both. I have no idea. Maybe somebody knows.
is impounded. That was impounded. And then,
So someone got a hold of it?
well, I sent it to a former girlfriend, you know, and it, like, or I think it was on a Google Drive. I don't even know the whole story. Whatever. Okay, it's my fault, right? Like, but when you trust someone, right, and then it's like,
A-Rock says, wait, which is it? Meredith stole it when he was at the gym, or it wouldn't load to his computer, so they had to use hers. I've heard both. I have no idea. Maybe somebody knows.
is impounded. That was impounded. And
Oh,
then,
so someone got a hold of it?
well, I sent it to a former girlfriend, you know, and or I think it was on a Google Drive. I don't even know the whole story. Whatever. Okay, it's my fault, right? Like, but when you trust someone, right, and then it's like
The funniest part about Turtle Boy's the meltdowns that he has is he wants the world to believe, you know, Karen Reed, the woman that he once claimed to defend, right? The woman he says, "Oh, I love Karen Reed," you know, secretly instructed him to intimidate witnesses, you know, not last year, not during the trial, but when he was bragging about being, "Oh, I'm her right hand man," and that couldn't be any farther from the truth. You know, he wasn't her right hand man. He wasn't her right hand man, not at all. Not during the trial, not last year, not when he was bragging about her being the right hand, you know, conveniently. You know, right after the illegal wiretapping issue entered the court system, you know, but now it's given, I didn't study for the test, so I'm going to blame the teacher energy. Karen, like, really, we're going to believe, right? Let me just say this over. To believe this conspiracy, right, to exist, two things have to be true. Karen Reed told him to intimidate a witness, and Karen Reed gave him instructions on how to intimidate a witness. You know, which one of them do you believe?
Nobody knows. Stand up, stand united, rise against this fool. We won't bow down to the shame. No remorse, no remorse. Break the silence, let's amplify the scream, scream, scream. Together we won't falter, united in this dream, dream, yeah. Ray from Dallas, dressed like a sheep in the herd. You prayed on Alex, man, let's spread the word. Supported by the wicked, you hiding your lies, but your dirty actions, yo, we exposed to the skies. Will the glare of Uncle Debbie, you're sick in the mind. Keep spreading the hatred, but we're leaving you behind. Jessica Machado, professing her hate for those standing strong, girl, you just suffocate. Time to dismantle the game, take back the power. These abuses won't hide in the dark hour.
that raised over. This is what I was doing. I was talking to the source herself 5 days a week, 6 days a week. That's what I was fucking doing. The source fucking trusted me. And I came through because I told the truth, okay, about what fucking happened. I got the word out that no one else fucking would. And now all these cocksuckers. And by the way, and as a result of that, I built a gigantic social movement that raised over $1.1 million. Created the infrastructure. There is no fundraiser without me. None. That's what I fucking did. And now all these cocksuckers come out of the woods and they get to police. We're the ones that care about. Where was Randall? Where were Randall and the retards for the first trial? I must have missed them. They just kind of showed up later on YouTube. Didn't really see him at any fundraising events. I don't think they were invited. I don't think Karen wanted that kind of clientele there. You know, that wasn't they weren't invited. I mean, BLT got the invite early on. She needed some other YouTubers, some like less controversial ones after I got arrested, quite frankly. You know, I mean, there was Cryford, but Cryford flipped when I was in jail and said that she might be guilty. So he was out. Of course. She liked the LV Cops guys. They were legitimate. They were cool. But you know, all these people who stood by when Krusty Panties punked down Karen and called her a murderer, they all just stood there. Because at the end of the day, they're there for the tailgate. They're there for the tailgate. They didn't actually do anything. They fucking tailgated. That's what they fucking did. They didn't have to work. So they came down to the fucking courthouse, pulled up their fucking lawn chairs, watched the fucking trial on TV.
And that's crazy about like what he's saying about all these people. You know, the boots on the ground that showed up every day made that shit incredible. Oh, have a great day, man. My granddaughter slept over last night. Some of you see my granddaughter on the stream the other day. Yeah, so yeah, go take care of the grandkids. Check it out on the replay. Appreciate the donation, you know. And we'll talk to you soon. Good morning, everybody. We're just talking about our favorite trash barrel. You know, that just goes online, makes noise, creates narratives, confuse the friggin' public, you know, and then plays the blame game. Then he plays the fucking blame game.
And just enjoyed the atmosphere. That was their contribution to the Free Karen Reed movement. That, don't ever forget that. That's all they fucking did.
All I hear here is just a pattern of turning on people that was cool with him, rewrites history, weaponizing screenshots. He creates a lot of drama to distract you from the consequences. And he's going to create more drama now because of his team cancer. You know, and I tagged the Institute of Cancer, tag everybody, all the cancer programs as far as that, because like that's uncalled for. You know, Turtle Boy is like watching a snake shed its skin every time it gets caught. Except his new skin is always thinner than the last.
They showed up and they fucking tailgated. That's what they fucking did. And they shit on people who actually contributed to this movement, like Tom CPU, who was down there from day fucking one, way before any of these other motherfuckers, with a camera documenting everything, getting footage of everything. No matter how cold it was, that motherfucker was always there. And they dogged him. They didn't let them.
He's mad because now none of them people are outside his courthouse. What's he get? 10, 15 people?
Join their gay ass cringe fucking prayer circle. That was the gayest thing I've ever seen in my life, when they showed up every day and did the Pledge of a fucking Allegiance and then did a fucking prayer circle. And Tom CPU wasn't allowed in the prayer circle. And that's when I realized these motherfuckers just like tailgating. That's all they do. Boots on the ground. Give me a fucking break. Give me a fucking break. The real ones on boots on, there's many real ones on boots on the ground. Tom CPU's in them. Okay. Erica Walsh, Dina. Those are the real ones. Those are the ones that are out there for the right fucking reasons, not for the drama in the prayer circle. Fucking gay. Every time I saw that prayer circle, I'm like, this is so embarrassing. This is fucking embarrassing. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them. I don't want them in my shit. I don't like them. They're fucking fake. They're not in it for the right reasons. Fuck them. And that these motherfuckers think that they have some sort of ownership over Karen Reed when all they fucking, Scott McGinnis is a real one. Scott's a fucking real one. Absolutely.
We ride to free Sanchez. Sanchez must be free. We ride to free Sanchez. Sanchez must be free. We ride to free Sanchez. Sanchez must be free.
SK27 makes some great videos. He makes some great videos over there at SK27. You know, check him out. I think he's on YouTube as well. You know, he's over on YouTube as well, so check him out.
Shit. I didn't send shit. I did nothing. No one even know that. No one in the world besides me and Karen Reed would have known that that conversation even took fucking place if it wasn't sent out. That's it. That's it. And you know, we all know who sent it out. We all know who did it. Meredith O'Neill did it. 5150 did it. I've set up. She admitted it to me on the phone when she called me on.
You know what's crazy? Turtle Boy has every receipt for everything. He records everything. But that's the one recording he don't have that Meredith admitted to sending out that video. She admitted it to me. You could tell when he lies. He just has some telltale signs. That little line straightens out on the side of his friggin' fat ass nose.
January 18th, or I called her. She asked me to call her. I think it was like January 18th, begging me to stop. And I had stopped. I go, I am stopped. I've been stopped. Begging me. I don't want to do this anymore, she said. Defeated.
And he recorded that, but he didn't record of her saying, all right, it was me. He said, of course, the time the dog ate the recording. And that's why his mom despised him. That's why his mom is probably spinning in her grave. Right, Turtle? Mommy didn't like you much, huh? Because you was a mean kid. Turtle Boy, let me ask you a question. Is it true that when you was like right around in high school, you threw an ice cube at your mother and hit her in the face? It's just what I heard, allegedly. Is that true? Not sure how true it is, but I would believe that. If someone said, you believe it, that is more likely or less likely that Turtle Boy threw an ice cube and hit his mother. Is it more likely or less likely?
And admitted to me what she did. Okay? She knows she did this.
He says she knows. She knows. Fucking dude is a spazzing idiot. Just figure we'll go through some of these let's see what this one has to say.
Like money's coming in, you're not going to deny it. If you get in money, if people are sending you money, you're not going to be like, I'm not taking it. Like, you know what I mean? She needs money, but that's the thing. Like, he's got the bigger audience, and is that going to be his new pivot? Like, is he going to like
I feel bad for Kelsey if she lets him in. I'm just like, I
She's
kind
not.
of thought about that
She's
all
not.
day.
No, hold on. She's not letting nobody in, bro. Like money's coming in. You're not going to deny it. If you get in money, if people are sending you money, you're not going to be like, I'm not taking it. Like, you know what I mean? She needs money, but that's the thing. Like, he's got the bigger audience, and is that going to be his new?
So right there is Randy admitting to why he threw the Karen Reed fundraiser the last time, why he started sharing her link and saying a fundraiser, why he reached out to her and basically pressured her, like basically forced her to acknowledge it publicly with a thank you. Like the most pathetic fucking thing I've ever seen. But he's basically admitting that that's exactly what he did with the Karen Reed the last time he raised money for Karen Reed, because he knows what they're not going to say no to money. It's a surefire way to get people to go, oh, I care. And she's not going to reject it. And it's, if I could get her to acknowledge it, then it looks like Karen Reed still supports this channel. Like, it's so pathetic. Crawford did the same thing. And that's exactly what DJ and Crawford did the last time, which is why I streamed simultaneously, because I knew they were going to botch it. And that's going to happen, by the way. That's going to happen every time. If I get wind of it in time, they throw a fundraiser, I'm throwing a Karen Reed fundraiser right at the same fucking time.
Well, that's awesome. More money for Karen, right? I haven't seen Will in months without a hat, and he is looking rough. You should see when he smiles. We have a great picture of Will, don't we, chat? This is an advertising for a hotel near Will. Give it to me, Glazer, the turtle rider. And this one's great too, you know. If free speech and corruption were important to Mr. Willie Sleazer, he will provide his own content about the important cases near his area. Bus, scooter, or Uber accessible, of course, but he would rather be a fake victim. Drama Wordle Queen and focus on free Karen Reed, Turtle Dicks, and drama 850 miles away. I gotta say, Will has to be intimidated now by the other weirdo, the purple Kool-Aid guy. This gotta be intimidated for him, you know. New rider coming in. And to draw those conclusions, you have to have your own ulterior motives. Look, every time these guys open their mouth, right, it reminds me and probably the world of one thing. You cannot trust them. You can't trust these guys in a conversation. You can't trust them at all, because if you speak to these guys, you know, they record you. If you text them, they screenshot you. So no matter what you do, can you trust them? And if you run a license plate for them, he's going to name drop you. And I think, you know, you're not supposed to be, you know, giving police business to civilians, you know. So people that are still working with the turtle, be careful. If you're working with these rejects, they're learning the hard way, but that loyalty to these guys is a one-way street. And that one-way street has a lot of potholes and no lights. And it's in Hood Booger neighborhood. There's a bridge that collapsed the moment you step on it. So be careful. Because this guy is now all of a sudden trying to rewrite some damn history, right? And he wants to pin conspiracies on Karen Reed. Because maybe he finally realized what the rest of us already No. There is no incriminating evidence against Karen Reed. None. Nor is the screenshot you're waving around like a damn ransom note. And it's not in the messages that you're teasing out, bro. Where's the bombshell? When someone has nothing, they start inventing something. Sounds like a Hank Brennan. Maybe if he thinks if he says it loud enough, confident enough, aggressively enough, you guys will buy it and you'll turn it into a fact. But that's not journalism. He went from journalism Jesus to journalism Judas. I mean, the real reason I think this guy is going out of control is the illegal wiretapping issue is now in the court system. And he's like, oh, fuck. I mean, he don't know what to do. You know, he has no idea what to do at all. He's like, oh, man. Because he knows that it's now in the court system and he don't know what to do. You want to position the idea that Karen Reed should also be charged with witness intimidation.
Outside the proctor's house, and I published a picture.
Hold on, people.
Those are exact. I would like to point out that the September 25th incident in which Jennifer McCabe was parked outside the proctor's house, and I published a picture of it. And then what did I do? I asked people if they could run a license plate for me. And a few people did. One of them was named Janelle Webb. And she was a dispatcher for the Avon Police Department. And so she ran a license plate that I gave her, didn't know who it was for, and it came back with the name Matt McCabe. Now I knew it was Jennifer McCabe's car, but I was asked, can you verify this? Sure. So I verified it with the dispatcher. We ran a plate and I published that. What happened with that? What happened as a result of that? I was indicted for 3 counts of conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. 3 counts of it. Indicted. So was Janelle Webb. She was never arraigned, but she was indicted for 3 counts of witness intimidation, and she lost her job over that. Now you're seeing messages from Karen Reed in contact with me at that exact time. Those are exact. I would like to point out that the September 25th incident in which Jennifer McCabe was parked outside the proctor's house, and I published a picture of it. And then what did I do? I asked people if they could run a license plate for me. And a few people did. One of them was named Janelle Webb. And she was a dispatcher for the Avon Police Department. And so she ran a license plate that I gave her, didn't know who it was for, and it came back with the name Matt McCabe. Now I knew it was Jennifer McCabe's car, but I was asked, can you verify this? Sure. So I verified it with the dispatcher. We ran a plate and I published that. What happened with that? What happened as a result of that? I was indicted for 3 counts of conspiracy to commit witness intimidation. 3 counts of it. Indicted. So was Janelle Webb. She was never arraigned, but she was indicted for 3 counts.
But whose fault is that, you know? Because for once, now the one under the microscope is the turtle, right? He's the one under the microscope now. now he's going to face consequences, right? For once, he can't blame Super Meredith or Karen Reed. You can't blame, you're trying to, you can't blame the haters. You can't blame the trolls, the deep state, or whatever imaginary villain that you're fighting in your little friggin' brain of yours. You're asking people to run license plates. That's smart. So you're assuming Karen Reed told you to run a license plate. So what do? And I'm sure he's getting, his lawyers is telling him to do this shit. He tries to create a narrative that if he goes down, Karen goes down with him. But where's your proof? That you're like, you already, like, Karen was done with you. Karen was done with you back in December of 2023. All done. So if you're trying to say, I'm sinking, help, grab me. Nobody's going to reach out and grab you. You're losing thousands of online subscribers. I'm sure your money's going backwards. Your legal defense fund is probably drying up. You know, all them great parties you want to go to, all them games. The only thing you're grabbing is you know what. And saying, damn, I have no credibility. And you're dragging it all underwater with you. There's a breakdown that I looked at on Twitter under the name Boozy Beauty. Boozy Beauty broke down the whole pattern. Let me see if I could find the actual post. Because it was showing exactly how Turtle Boy's ecosystem actually works. I mean, not Turtle Boy. He broke down the ecosystem on the motions. That's what I wanted to get to next. The whole Mock Diller, the O'Keefe family attorney, you know. So let me see if I could get that up here next. That's what I wanted to talk about. Right, give me a minute to look for that. I'll be right back.
Stand united, rise against this force. We won't bow down to the shame. No remorse, no remorse. Break the silence, let's amplify the scream, scream, scream. Together we won't falter, united in this dream. So let's gather the truth, hold tight to the flame. No more shame on survivors, we're rewriting the game. If you stand with Alex, man, let your voice rise against Turtle Boy and the lies. Let's shatter the skies. We rise up, rise up, rise up, rise up. United, we're ready to fight, yeah. The end of the silence in the long night. Stand up, stand united, stand against this foe, united in this dream.
Yeah. Hey, yo, it's time to get real. The streets are buzzing. Free Karen Reed, watch the fire, no bluffing. Critics out, yeah, they loud, but we ain't backing down. Let's shed light on those wearing the crown. Step into the scene. Enter Aiden Kearney, aka Turtle Boy, thoughts kinda dirty. Rolling deep with misfits, you know, like Will the Glera. Claims he's tough, but that ain't a real player. Beating on his kid, man, that's a red alert. No cap, no lie, dude, you need to revert.
Let's talk about the truth. Let's keep it real. Clara's got a history that's hard to conceal. Turtle Boy trolls with that fake account vibe. This is a community we gotta unite. This is a community we gotta unite.
Well, I can't find it. I'll have to look for it. But I wanted to play this video also, so I found this, so I figured we'll get into this, you know.
Is it just the same thing?
Yeah, this would be.
All right. You want an opportunity to look at this?
That would be great. I have some documents going on.
All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna give you a copy of this to look at. How are we gonna, you have some sort of device you can play this on, or we'll try to supply it?
I apologize.
You should see everything I'm gonna see.
I can see that.
We come up with a computer where to go into one of the rooms.
Yeah. Is it this?
Yeah. What's on this?
Just a couple recordings of videos of things that she posted online.
What's that?
A couple videos that she has posted online.
I remember this case, I've heard this before, right?
Yeah, last year it was renewed and the year before when it was first.
I mean,
That's a different, this
She does some sort of TV show or something like that, or?
yeah, those are from
She
her.
said it was gonna be a physical assault.
Yeah, that's what initially got the order granted, yes.
That's what.
This is
You want me
new.
to look at?
This
That's
is-
what this is?
No, that's new. This is stuff that's happened in the last year since.
I want her to hear it before we conduct the hearing.
Mr. Goggins.
What do you want me to look at?
We can cut through this. I don't know if you're inclined to do so, but the issue that I'm having here is that Mr. Kearney is repeatedly attempting to contact the kids there. I don't think it seems
I have the
like-
hearing in a few minutes. I don't
That's
want
what I
to look
have.
at anything that you haven't seen, and you don't know what I'm looking at. I'm trying to be
Sure, so.
fair to everybody. Whatever you want me to look at, to the court office.
Absolutely. So I have here, Your Honor, just a list of the text message somebody his Twitter accounts when it was beginning.
Let him look at that. Give her a copy of this. All right, and why don't you give that to the clerk? Just here,
I'll make you copy.
he made 2 copies of this. I want her to look at that.
So the DA's office is getting a,
Thank them for doing that.
I did
So
show them.
you can go back and have a seat. You'll be given some copy of what she's supplying to look at. Yeah. Ms. Peters, have a seat, we're gonna bring in some sort of thing that's gonna let you look at this. I just want to remind everybody that the standard is to have to find there are 3 or more incidents that are willful and malicious, aimed at the plaintiff, intended to cause him fear, intimidation, abuse, and when I say fear of imminent bodily harm or property damage, and did in fact cause fear, intimidation, abuse, based on words alone, have to be true threats of fighting forces, and that's a reason. So, everybody have a seat and take a look at this and let.
I have a copy.
Oh, we're making copies.
Oh, but she, I tried to save the journal.
All right,
One can go to your file then.
all right, let's give the copy to the court officer and give it to the defendant. We gave you a copy he made for you. All you really have to do is look at that, whatever this recorded.
Can I just try your name?
We'll do that at the hearing. Where was that?
I 87.
Good luck.
Calling 24 RO 81, Aiden Kearney versus Catherine Peter.
All right, thank you, everybody, for your patience. Madam Clerk, do you have all the submissions?
I just need to confirm which item that
The disc came from Mr. Kearney.
Yeah.
Which of these copies is yours, sir? Okay. And then this is from you, as Peter? I don't mark.
Mark those all as exhibits.
Yes, sir.
1, 2, and 3, however you want.
Okay, so for the record, the DVD will be plaintiff's exhibit 1. I'm sorry, this is yours, right?
All right, well, let's take hearing. Well, first of all, nobody has counsel for today's hearing, is that right? Shake that, no?
No.
All right, great. What I intend on doing is inquiring, you've been through this before, and then I'll probably take it as advisement. I haven't looked at any of the exhibits that I will listen to or watch. I don't know whether it's listen or watch, whatever you have as a disc. I'll take it under advisement. I'm going to encourage you to call back later today to find out what my ruling was on the order, okay? Any objections to that? No. All right, great. So as I stated earlier, Mr. Kearney, you have the burden, and I went over the standard 3 or more incidents that are willful and malicious, aimed at you, intended to cause you fear, intimidation, or abuse. Fear is limited to imminent bodily harm or property damage that did in fact cause you fear, intimidation, or abuse. And if based on the words alone, that the true threats or fighting words. Why don't you tell me, for the record, like I said, I've handled this before, but you're all refreshing my memory. I don't have a photographic memory from a year ago when this, I doubt I remember some of it. But why don't you pretend you get a blank slate and tell me why you originally came in and sought this over.
So I originally came in, Your Honor, after Ms. Peter made several online threats on a YouTube presentation that she does, threatening physical harm on me if I showed up at various places, mainly courthouses. Specifically said that she would beat me up, that she would bring men with her to beat me up, that she would recommend that I not show up to those places if I fear physical harm.
I stopped you right there. Where and when and how many different times did this take place?
Well,
I think the judge wanted to say, yo, I'm sorry, I had to stop that, man. Like, yo, he said, I'm scared. She said you're gonna threat physical harm. Like, you are a puss, bro, dude. Like, this dude, man. I know the judge is gonna be like, wait a minute. Are you a bitch? Or sound like Geechee Gotti, you know, I gotta find that soundtrack. You's a bitch. God damn, man, that was funny. Oh my God, I'm sorry. Let me finish. My bad.
And sought this over.
So I originally came in, Your Honor, after Ms. Peter made several online threats on a YouTube presentation that she does, threatening physical harm on me if I showed up at various places, mainly courthouses. Specifically said that she would beat me up, that she would bring men with her to beat me up, that she would recommend that I not show up to those places if I fear physical harm.
I stopped you right there. Where and when and how many different times did this take place?
Well, we had 3 or more in order to have.
So Meredith's a gangster. You know what I mean? And Kate Pete is like got a posse of men that she rolls around with. That's damn, this dude, man. You can't make this shit up.
That's in your affidavit?
Yeah, the original affidavit filed in this. So there was more than 3, but
I just want to make sure she knows what we're talking about, specific dates and times. Are they in any of these recordings or submissions?
No, it's in the original affidavit that I filed.
Yeah, you've seen that affidavit? And that has dates and times, at least approximate dates and times?
That's right. They were played in this court, and the order was granted after hearing them. So there is so the order was granted last year. It was renewed, or 2 years ago. It was renewed again last year, and there's a continuing risk. What was that?
Did I do that?
Yes, you did. March 7th of last year. There is a continuing risk of harm. It's already been established when this order was granted. When she threatened to show up where I was, including courthouses, and assault me. In July of this year, of 2025, since the order was renewed, she then pled guilty to making these threats and was convicted in this court. The issue here is whether or not there's a continuing risk, and that answer is obviously yes. MGL 250AD Section 3D says, the fact that the harassment hasn't occurred during the pendency of an order shall not in itself constitute sufficient grounds for not denying or failing to extend the order. So the existence of the order is what has prevented Ms. Peter from continuing to show up where I'm at, to make physical threats of violence, to tell me not to show up to places or else. And so for that reason, I'd like it extended. She's shown in her behavior since the order was granted that she is going to continue to try to intimidate and abuse me. For instance, this week, she published stolen material, my entire cell phone extraction, and has posted private and privileged messages with my attorneys. On several of these screenshots that she has posted on her Twitter, which has close to 9,000 followers, my phone number was listed, and consequently, I entered that into evidence. It's one of the exhibits, and it's led to several harassing phone calls, which she intentionally facilitated by, again, publishing this stolen material, which my lawyers are currently exploring obtaining stolen property charges against Ms. Peter. On July 4th of last year, I was at a beach in Mashpee, Massachusetts. Ms. Peter somehow found out.
After the order.
This after the order, yeah. Ms. Peter somehow found out I was there, and she went online and she posted my exact location, a very specific and small beach in Mashpee. And again, she had a large following on there and was urging people to essentially come find me. On July 5th, she posted pictures and the license plate of my girlfriend's car from a picture that either she or a friend of hers took, identifying my location and encouraging further harassment. In February of 2026, she posted a private video of my 8-year-old daughter crying, in which my daughter's name is mentioned, and in her post, she called me an abusive monster. 2 weeks ago, she bragged about approaching a woman by the name of Karen Reed, who's a former friend of mine who's recently acquitted from murder and manslaughter charges in Norfolk Superior Court. She bragged that she went up to Karen Reed inside the courtroom and called her a fucking murderer and a disgusting bitch in an attempt to interfere with her ongoing.
What does that have to do with you?
My point is, Your Honor, that if that is what she does when she's unrestrained, and there is no order in place, again, the order was first granted because she.
He said, what does that have to do with you? He said, my former friend. That you were never Karen's friend, buddy. Use Karen to get your ass off that dirty ass couch you was sleeping on. Remember after your wife was like, get the out. I got a new correctional officer I'm trying to move in here. You gotta go. This guy, man. What's that got
I
to
don't
do
have
with
to
you?
address that in response.
Okay. So,
Don't interrupt the invitation. I appreciate it.
again, I have no doubt, based on that behavior, that she will do this to me at my court dates as she has a history of doing. She also has 2 pending cases against her that are
I have a board of probation record in front of me. I see the threatening you referred to, in which she got a $100 fine, and I see her open cases. Those are open, and she has the presumption of innocence.
Correct. And so in those instances, Your Honor, one in Devon, for instance, she was actually driving out of her way to be near me during that hearing. And she yelled, "Kill yourself," at a friend of mine who also has a HBO on her named Lauren Murray. The case in Attleboro, she's being charged with.
I'm going to object to this. This has nothing to do with Mr. Aiden. These are unproven facts. These are unproven facts. I can test them. It has nothing to do with
Once again, I'm not asking you to testify, especially with the open cases.
just the fact that he's been putting on the record. You should-
As I already, as you just heard me say, I'm being fed everyone.
I apologize.
He mentioned something about you approaching Karen Reed, and I said I was gonna completely ignore it, because it has nothing to do with him, or your conversation with him. I'm very adept, and I'm not cutting you off, I'm very adept. If I remember the past, both of you have a tendency of verbosity. And I filtered out some things. You have this animation that goes back and forth here, and it needs this lengthy things, and I'm very good at filtering out and narrowing it to the confines. That's why you hear me always repeat that 3 or more incident thing. You guys have probably heard me say it to you ad nauseum, that's what it stands for. So you don't have to object because I know how to filter it out. Certain things that you're going to say, I have no doubt that I will possibly filter out. I'm being fair to everybody. You guys know the standards. You start to talk about somebody else, what they're harassment with. It's open cases where you have the presumption of innocence. I give very little weight. You talk about things that we've done in the past, they have some weight and they have weight. So we all know where we stand. So I'm gonna let him kind of go on a little bit, as I do you too. All right? Go on.
So as I was saying, the other charge.
I ask you, once again, that's why I said no interruption. Okay, but if you feel guilty, everybody has a right to object. All right? Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so as I was saying, there was the case in Dedham where she killed herself, a friend of mine, while driving intentionally to be close to me at one of my hearings, something she, and to obtain the order, she threatened to show up to my court appearances and intimidate me. In Attleboro, she has another charge for witness intimidation, also against another friend of mine, who she intimidated outside the courthouse. Again, I believe that's relevant, because that is the exact behavior that she threatened to do, which led to the order being granted in this first place. And so the reason that, that she is, in the last year, she has not had any actual new threats of physical violence is because of the existence of this order. This order has prevented her from doing that, and this court agreed that there were 3 more instances of true threats that she committed, threats of violence. When I first applied for this order, those facts haven't changed, and the order being in place is what prevents her from doing that. She's shown no signs of slowing down, and I believe that if this order is not removed, she will immediately go back to her old place.
All right, thank you. And thank you for your patience with Peter. Now your opportunity.
I apologize for my interjection. So
All right, hey, look, you have
just
a
wanna-
right to object.
I just want to correct a couple things, starting from the beginning here. So the dates and times of these statements that I made, which were not in your honor's decision necessarily clear, but were classified as true threats or fighting words. I'm not sure where you landed. We're not going to relitigate that part of it, but they were not threats to go where he is. In one case, I had said something, and they were never
If I
played.
remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, you said them on some sort of broadcast.
It was a broadcast. They weren't necessarily directed at
And
him.
if I remember, and I might be wrong, so that's why I wanted someone to, you could correct me. That either one of you said you were gonna get somebody after him, or another, you said if you were around me, I'd punch him in the face.
Well, no. So the first thing I said
Well, that's
was.
why I had to give you the opportunity to
I
correct.
appreciate it. And
I'm gonna
just,
reread the affidavit anyway.
yeah, and in the affidavit, so he claimed to you just now, Your Honor, that these statements were played in court. They were not. You asked me about them. I admitted to 2. I can
I remember he had some
Right.
sort of recordings that he was gonna show.
They were
and
not-
he
they were
did-
not
and
fake.
He did acknowledge at least 1 or 2.
And I understand, and to my, to my own credit, Your Honor, if I say something or do something, I will be honest with this court. I take the oath that I just took my right hand very seriously. Unfortunately, Mr. Kearney does not. So last year when we were here, I raised the issue that he continues to try to engage with me. So it's mainly social media. We live an hour and a half apart. It's a burden every time I come up here. I almost didn't show up because I don't want any contact with him, but I did because he didn't use his words to try to.
Well, they usually invite anybody to appear by Zoom.
Right, well, but I like to hear my battles and certainly contact me if it's not, but I'm here anyway.
But
So
when
the-
you have written submissions, it's better when you
Right.
you Zoom stuff.
Yeah, so at the last hearing, I raised the issue that he continues to try to make contact with me. One of the things that I had cited to Your Honor, and I provided screenshots, was that I had.
And your submission.
It is, I've got it, it's this page right here. So I had, in the last one, in the last hearing, I had cited to him tweeting at me, right? So I had blocked, he has about 4 Twitter accounts that I'm aware of. This is a screenshot that he sent to the same girlfriend that he's claiming that I harassed. They've since broken up, and she has been posting a lot of this information here. So it shows the 4 accounts that I am aware of now that he owns. And that's Ghetto Mellow, Wade Stevens, which has to do with my children as much as he's complaining about children, Aiden Kearney at Dr. Turtle Boy, and Trump v. DeSantis at Ron v. Don. So last time I had cited to a Twitter account at TurtleBoy4Fun. I had showed Your Honor that he was tweeting everything. In his response, he looked this court in the face under oath, and he said, "That is not my account. If you go back and you look, the last few tweets are unflattering to me." So what I have here, Your Honor, is a blog post from Mr. Kearney's blog. This is his website. He is the sole owner and operator of this website. And it encourages his followers to find his various social media. Among them is at TurtleBoy4Fun. So I understand that the court has been crediting his testimony, and to the court's credit, I have not offered anything to give you a reason not to. But right here I have. He lied to you under oath, claiming that the account that he was trying to contact me on was not his, and it is. Okay, and so it looks like he's going to try that again. Just to switch gears for a moment, he talks about his conduct here. I just want to read off some of these tweets. So he's claiming that I was following him. I was not. We're both obviously very interested in the Karen Reed case, right? He's covering it from Ms. Reed's perspective. I am sympathetic and supportive and an advocate for the victims, witnesses in that case. And there's a certain level of competition. I have been featured in the media, as has Mr. Kearney. I am involved in a very large media project, which is a direct competition to Mr. Kearney, without getting into the details that he's come out on the losing end of so far as finding a commissioner and a streamer. I believe that this makes Mr. Kearney angry, and it's that anger that is spurring this continuation of trying to get this order, not fear. So if you look at the post that I wrote regarding the beach on the Cape, I say, breaking news, TurtleBoy caught stalking Colin Albert, another auto.
Where is that? I want to make sure.
Saint copy right here. We can go page by page, that's easier for you.
Well, no, I got it. Second page.
Okay, so it's actually the first and second page. Some of these seem to be kind of duplicate, but I write, breaking news, TurtleBoy caught stalking Colin Albert and other Albert family members to Mashpee, Massachusetts. He is prohibited from going near Colin, who is the named victim in his multiple felony cases. There is photographic evidence, more as this develops. So I am reporting on developments in Mr. Kearney's ongoing criminal saga. Colin Albert is a named victim in this case. He was not approached, but he saw Mr. Kearney behind him on the beach. He let me know, I reported it. Mr. Kearney bizarrely then adds in a GPS coordinates to prove that I was telling the truth. But I don't see the true threat, fighting words, or even that it's directed at Mr. Kearney. I'm certainly talking about him, but I'm not talking to him. I'm certainly not trying to cause any fear, and this mirrors Mr. Kearney's reporting about these witnesses in the case, as he has ongoing litigation with them, as they are victims in his criminal case. He does this constantly. He calls it First Amendment reporting when he does it, but then he comes in here and calls it harassment when I do. I say on the beach within a reasonable distance. What a coincidence yet again that he winds up where these people are. I'm not the prosecutor or the cops. That's where the picture is going to. This is not harassment, Your Honor. This is reporting. This is a matter of public concern. Mr. Kearney has waged a war on the very fibers of the criminal justice system. He has been indicted for double-digit counts of intimidating witnesses in a high-profile case. I'm not doing it to cast aspersions, Your Honor. I'm simply stating that my reporting is squarely within public interest. It is not harassment. It is First Amendment. He cites to this picture. I didn't even mention it at all. I said, whose car is this? Driving by and threatening violence on the state's witness down on the Cape. I know who's in the passenger seat doing a lot of the yelling. This is all being documented now. This was a video that was provided to me by another witness in the Karen Reed case, Brian Higgins. It was Mr. Kearney and his girlfriend driving by the house, yelling at him. He was quite upset about this. This was actually later mentioned in one of Mr. Kearney's court hearings. So again, this is public interest. There's no true threats. There's no fighting words. There's absolutely nothing that would cause fear and intimidation. He hasn't produced anything. As far as him claiming that I'm posting privileged material to him and his lawyer, first of all, let's go back to the phone extraction. It was not stolen. Mr. Kearney, unwisely, gave a copy of his discovery materials from his criminal case, namely his phone extraction, to a girlfriend that he had at the time. She's not a lawyer. She's not part of his legal team. She's not an attorney. He gives it to her. They break up their unanimous. At some point, it would appear, and I don't know for sure, but it would appear that she is the one that leaked it. It came into my possession. The only things that I have been going through and reporting on are things that directly relate to either Mr. Kearney's witness intimidation case or Ms. Reed and her attorney's involvement in it. So what he cited here, and frankly, the unredacted phone numbers was an oversight on my point, but he can't say that he is receiving harassing phone calls because of this. His number has been on the internet for the better part of 10 years now. If Your Honor is going to take this under advisement, I can certainly pull up video clips where he discusses how often this happens.
It's a hearing. Have you got to submit right now?
I apologize, I wasn't anticipating some of this, because these arguments are a little outlandish, but David Gannetti, the person who's the text messages here, that is not his attorney, he is not privileged materials. Arguably, he waives privilege when he started showing this, but regardless, I have no interest in his attorney-client privileged materials, because it's not a public concern. His hiding the fact that he was communicating with a defendant in a high-profile murder case, and the attorney is encouraging lying to the public and the courts about that. I feel it is in public interest. This is, again, First Amendment stuff. So then we move to what I have submitted, Your Honor. And we do this with the backdrop of he's already lied to you once about an account that he owns that he was using to tweet at me. And we look at these accounts, the Ghetto Mello, the Wade Stevens, the Aiden Kearney, and the Trump v. DeSantis. And at Your Honor's leisure, you can certainly look at it. My handle is @MassGoldMafia. Anytime that you see that it means that he has tagged me in it, I get a notification. It is contact, right? And I don't know it's him until I get this information. So he is using a variety of burner or fake accounts to continue to try to initiate contact with me via Twitter. And I'm not saying that that is harassment or casting aspersions on him. I am simply saying that it is ridiculous that he is asking this court to order no contact when the only person that is trying to initiate contact is him. And he's doing so in a way that, God forbid, if he gets another fake account on me, and I don't know who I'm answering to, he could foreseeably take that down to the police station and say, I just got a notification from her account on Twitter, she broke the restraining order. But I have no way of knowing on a real-time basis whether any of his accounts are him or not. I feel like if he didn't want any contact, which I don't want any contact, he would have done what I did. And he would have just blocked the social media accounts and moved on. You know, notably absent from this is any sort of real life contact. I don't follow him where he is. Anytime that I made statements saying, better not show up here, I might have men with me. First of all, I did not intend that that would be a threat of violence. I never said that there would be violence. I followed that up with, if you're afraid of real men with jobs, stay home. But it's because he was threatening to come to where I was, not the other way around. I've never ever done that to him. I mean, we're going on 2 years now of Mr. Kearney using this order as a sword and continuing to try to initiate contact with me. And I don't think that his intention really here is to protect himself or that he feels that he's in fear, otherwise he wouldn't be contacting me. I believe that he wants it for the optics online, so he could say, look at guys, she might be reporting poorly on me, but she's a bad person, I'm a good person. And I know that as his attorneys continue to file ridiculous motions claiming that I'm a government agent receiving cash app payments from the district attorney and couch bribes, they want to take that into court to his criminal case and muddy up the waters and say, well, she's given information to the police before about him, and he's got a restraining order. She's a bad person. But that is not what 25080 is intended for. 25080, and I'm sure Your Honor is aware, was created because there was a gap between people who were not related, the waitress, right? The waitress. I know that is right, so that's the spirit of the law. It's not to silence dissent. It's not to cast aspersions on your online enemies or settle online beefs. It's certainly not to muddy up your pending criminal cases. It's to prevent serious bodily harm. He's not in any danger of that. He's never been in any danger of that. He's not acting like a person. So I would ask you on the vacate this order.
All right, thank you.
Your first one.
I'm going to give you a brief opportunity to respond. I said I would.
So,
I don't want you to be repetitive. I won't. Already said.
Just want to address.
Please respond to what she said.
Okay. So she entered into evidence screenshots of me responding on Twitter. I don't know what this means. I mean, how Twitter works. If you respond to a tweet and the other person is in the tweet, I guess they get a notification. I'm not entirely sure. I'm not.
Did you just say, I don't know how Twitter works? But you know what? K. Peters had a great point that when one of these sock accounts, send you When you respond, you don't know who you're responding to. This guy, Turtle Boy, wouldn't know the First Amendment. You know, he rattles on all about the First Amendment. You know, the way a kid talks about a damn superhero cape. You know, like if he puts it on, oh, he could fly, punch through walls, say whatever he wants without consequences. Except that's not how it works, bro. Not legally, not even logically. Not in any universe where any of us live. He treats the First Amendment like it's a get out of jail free card to say anything he wants, when in reality, it's like a user manual, man. Helpful, important, but it is not a license that you could say whatever you want. That's the confusion when people scream free speech, free speech. But you can really hear the Constitution because they don't care about fucking free speech. Damn, I used a curse word. Because you really seem to believe that you could say anything to anybody at any time in any tone on any platform. And what? Nobody is allowed to react? No one's allowed to respond, to block, to sue? No one's allowed to hold you accountable? You know, it's like I didn't read the assignment, but I'm arguing anyway. He confuses freedom of speech with freedom from consequences, which is like confusing a driver's license with immunity from speeding tickets.
Speaking to her in these tweets, I am responding to a thread in which she is also tagged. And so we have each other blocked anyway, so we shouldn't even be notified of that. So I'm not sure what this even is. The other thing,
Actually, I should have won both of them. We both have open criminal cases. I would suggest you avoid referring to that counsel in the trial, don't get it. So she mentioned some of the stuff that's going on. I wouldn't respond. So
yeah,
you can.
I'm not addressing that.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm not addressing that in case you're right. All right.
I just wanted to mention that. I should have mentioned it before.
Thank you, Your Honor. As far as a couple of things, she mentioned the attorney-client privilege. She posted messages with attorney Mark Randazza, who is my attorney counsel. She posted emails that he sent me in 2021 the other day on Twitter. She's also, again, she published my phone number out there. She claims that it's already out there, so it's okay if she continues to publish it and I experience further harassment. That seems to be her argument.
Well, really, under the slap law, you know, it's already online. If something's online, you can post it.
Initially, when she said that she was going to bring men with her to court, she did bring her a man by the name of Andrew Johnson, who was her living boyfriend, who showed up to court and physically assaulted me on the steps.
Objection, Your Honor, he was not convicted. That case was dismissed for lack of prosecution. He did not assault me.
Yeah, Dirty Peters.
So
Let her
Mr.
go.
Johnson
She
was
had
charged
objection.
with assault and battery on me for assaulting me on the steps of the courthouse stairs. The charge was later thrown out because the Suffolk County District Attorney's Office didn't have access to the video any longer. So the case was dismissed as a result of that, but he was charged he did indeed assault me. So her threats to have people show up with her, she follows through on those, particularly at courthouses. As far as the incidents at the beach, which she concerns on there, I didn't see, Colin Almer was not there. That's a bold-faced lie. I just was spending an afternoon at the beach, minding my own business, and I look on Twitter, and next thing you know, Ms. Peter is posting my exact location in Mashpee, encouraging further harassment of me. And again, I have no doubt that the order was initially granted because it met the requirements of imminent fear of physical harm and true threats. And so in the last 2 years, she has shown that she has no intention of slowing down, and that the minute this order is taken away, she will go right back to doing that. So I would ask you to extend this order for 1 more year.
Man, I'm sorry, I'm sorry.
I think I've heard.
He's made some claims that are patently false. So, I think he gets
I would assume you disagree with just about everything.
Well, no, I mean, as far as the characterization,
Can't let this go on.
I would like to clarify that, I mean, there are tweets here where he's tagging just me, so, and they are clearly directed at me.
I'll look at those.
If you see crusty, that is what he calls me crusty panties. This man who isn't here, right, that's what he calls me. But as far as the alleged assault, that's not true. Suffolk County did have video, had court surveillance video of Mr. Kearney waiting around a pole outside the court for 15 minutes. This assault that he talks about was, he's yelling at me, coming towards me. My partner cuts him off and walks in front of him. At some point, they make contact. Thank you.
I want to thank you both. I know this is emotional for both of you, and for at least attempting to operate in a professional manner. I want to thank you both for doing that. I'm going to ask the court office that pick one of the two of them, or whoever wants to volunteer, take it under advisement. You should check back at the clerk's office sometime after this afternoon to find out what happened. I'd ask the court office to ask one of them to stay or one of them to leave, and the other one.
Well, that is it. That was the entire hearing. But yeah, man, back to the First Amendment article, conversation with Turtle Boy. This guy just don't understand free speech in any way, trying to explain the First Amendment to Turtle Boy is like trying to teach algebra to a friggin' toaster. How do you explain gravity to someone who insists that they can float if they believe hard enough? Yeah, and all this goes in the record books. This is all history. This will all be cases that will be printed in the Atlantic Reporter case law, which is crazy. You're gonna have Turtle Boy in there. You're gonna have Kate Peters, all these different characters. Reading this law case years, when it's finally all said and done in the law books, is law schools. They're gonna study this shit, because it was so crazy. Turtle Boy with the First Amendment is like watching someone argue with a damn stop sign because they think the traffic laws are optional. He thinks all laws are optional. The funniest part, man, this guy screams free speech while blocking half the internet. I mean, how many people are blocked by this goon? How many people are blocked by Turtle Boy? There's another great one. Another great riddle to figure out. What's these?
Again. Do you have any clue what's on my phones that they took? Yeah, I went to jail. You didn't. I paid the price for that. You didn't.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not siding with Kate Peters. No, I absolutely not. But I'm just saying, free speech in general. Oh, the whole Meredith thing, I really don't think it's as deep as I think Turtle Boy is, has a lot to do with a lot of stuff that he blames on 5150. Because now you come into the Meredith and Karen blame game, you know, where he got cornered again. The script is very, very predictable with this guy. You know, he says it's Meredith's fault, it's Karen's fault, it's the troll's fault, it's the haters' fault, it's the universe fault. I mean, everyone is responsible for this guy's actions, right? Except for him. Even his loyal people. How can you not see that at all? You know, even his loyal ones, how could you not see that it's everybody's fault but his own? Let me see. I'm gonna put it up right now. It's gonna be up in the right here. It is. It's gonna be in the box on top. The enemies he listed from both trials. Who gathers this amount of enemies? You know, in a couple years' time. But I ain't playing both sides of the fence. When it's done to me, I'm not running for help. I'm not filing police reports. I ain't suing people. You know what I mean? So right, I get that. And the same thing, I am not. Everything I'm screaming can't be contested. I'm not making up lies, making up myths. You know what I mean? Anything that I have said, it's all facts. You know what I mean? I'm not lying. Turtle Boy has lied about so many people. The dude Jay Brill, who's over with the JFK crew, he gets so much hate because he's with JFK. You know, anybody over there will get so much hate. But it's like, why is the internet hate on that man so bad? You make up lies. All I know about the Jay Brill is that we know what happened up in Haverhill because Jay Brill was there recording. He got invited on to JFK. They make a good team. Where's all this hate come from? And the only reason why he has so much hate is because he's tied in with Randy, Kev, you know what I mean? James Jackson. You know what I mean? And I say it all the time. I have no affiliation with JFK and them guys, you know, but I respect what they do. I respect, you know, who they are. And I could relate, you know, to how they came up. And it wasn't right when everybody was, you know, taking shots at them, you know, pre Jay Brill and after Jay Brill. Not many people was standing up, you know, to at least stand side by side with them. I didn't even know them. I stood up for James Jackson talking about, you know, mental health, you know, when he was going through all that shit, you know. So shout out to I didn't even know he was in the chat. Shout out to Jay Brill, you know. Yep, shout out to Jay Brill. But yeah, bear with me, give me a minute. I have to be right back.
This is a community, we gotta unite. Turtle Boy, tell me what's the deal? Slanging fake news like it's part of the meal. Mental, physical threats, that ain't no game. Abusing women, man, that's a real shame. Real shame, real shame, real shame. Watch as the drama unfolds. It's not just gossip, it's harmful behavior that you can't just toss it.
Burner accounts, a coward with a keyboard, but the real talk, that's where you ignore. Stand up, man, quit acting like a child. Time to heal, not divide, make the difference worthwhile. Now let's get real, it's time to change the narrative. Stand together, bring the positive imperative. Let's be a voice that speaks for the weak. United we rise, broken cultures can't speak. Yeah.
Let's talk about the truth. Let's keep it real. There got a history that's hard to conceal. Turtle boy trolls with that fake account vibe. This is a community we gotta unite. This is a community we gotta unite.
Yo, let's keep it real. It's a turtle tale. No detail too small. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you thought it was cool playing those sides, right? Recording Karen, yeah, you lied and denied, man, what a sight. Double down on the mess like it's all a game. Talking big, selling our world, but don't it feel lame? Jokes about her parents thought it make you tough, but she lost her home, that struggle is rough. You asked her to rock it with you, to hit the stage, but she turned it down, see who's stuck in the cage. Turtle, turtle, where's the hustle, where's the grind? Living on the couch, man, that's no way to unwind. Your case came along, put you on a path. While Karen stays real, you just do the math. Free Karen, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, heavy kept holding it down. Jay Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtle's just a mirror showing all your tracks.
About Karen, how many clever ways can you call someone to see you next Tuesday?
Yeah, we spitting facts. Turtle's just a mirror showing all your tracks. Karen ain't never treated you with hate or spite. Never shared your secrets, never dimmed your light. But you took them shots, throwing dirt in the game, putting her on blast like it's all just for fame. And let's talk about the couch, man, that's where you lay until the truth hit. Then you found your own way, she didn't mock you now. She was family, no lie. But you breaking that bond, bro, that's goodbye. Yeah. Turtle, turtle, listen up, it's time to rise. Living in the shadow, all those tired alibis. Karen's got a strength, yeah, she knows a place while you hide behind the hate. Can't keep up the pace. Free Karen real, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, heavy kept holding it down. Jay Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtle's just a mirror showing all your tracks. Free Karen real, we ain't stopping now. Shout out JFK, heavy kept holding it down. Jay Brill with the beast, yeah, we spitting facts. Turtle's just a mirror showing all your tracks. Keep it real podcast, that's what we speak, no lies. Supporting real people, see through all the guys. Karen's got a story and we're here to tell. It's more than just a game, you should know your track, yeah. Keep it real podcast, that's where we speak.
I'm offended by that, but guess what? If you were offended by that, I fucking hate you anyway, and I don't want you watching my show. I don't care. You're not my kind of person. I don't like you. You're not fun, right? I don't want you over here. And normally, if I wasn't drama free, I'd really go off on you. But I'll just leave it at that. Like, I don't like you, and we weren't meant for each other. If you don't think that's funny, right? If you can't have a little joke with that, right? You're not my kind of people. Okay? You're not my kind of people. You know who can take that joke? Karen Reed can, because she's a tough mofo. She's been through a lot. She can take a joke. Okay? Not all you motherfuckers out here acting like you're offended by that. You guys can't take the joke, but she can, because she's tougher than you, right? She doesn't. You don't speak for her. She speaks for herself. Only Karen Reed speaks for Karen Reed. New rule. Thank you.
Yo, bitch boy, listen up, gotta talk to you now. The game's up, we ain't buying what you selling some out.
Yeah, we can't take much more of this bullshit, man. You parade around town like some kind of fan. Award-winning journalist, nah, just a fraud with valid stuff. Is that the game that you applauded? You ask your chat, what's the hot news today? When it's you in the mirror, the one that led you astray. Bitch boy, no glory, your stories in the trash. Pathetic, deceptive, turn your dreams to ash. You painted painted your own mess, now drown in the doubt. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. You became the cringe, the laughing stock of it all. Claiming awards, but it's just a paper wall. Blogging ain't journalism, see that's a crime. Real talk, you spitting slime, wasting all of our time. Shout out to Ad Baker Broken, he's down with the cause. Don't you dare attack, that ain't no applause. Stand with the real, never with the fakes. Cause we don't fuck with clowns and all the moves they make. Bitch, boy, no glory. Your stories in the trash. Pathetic, deceptive. Turn your dreams to ash. You painted your own mess. Now drown in the doubt. Fake news king. This is what it's all about. Fake news king. This is what it's all about. It's all about fake news king. This is what it's all about. Sick of your lies, tired of your deceit. Shirley Max, man, heard your mama's toughest cries on repeat. This ain't a game. You made your bed, now sleep in a mess. The world ain't your playground. It's time to confess. You thought you were tough, thought we were blind, but now we see the truth and it's making us refine. Aiden Kearney, Kate Peter, all the ones you side with. Your crew's full of losers. That's easy to find it. So back up, take a step, recognize your fate. No sympathy for snakes. Yeah, your time's running late. Yeah, bitch, boy, we gon' rise above your lies. This rebel anthem here, the truth that never dies. In the struggle together, no more choking on your spin. We break the bonds you made. It's time to begin. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about. This is all about. Fake news king, this is what it's all about.
Yo, bitch boy, listen up, gotta talk to you now. The game's up, we ain't buying what you're selling somehow.
Yeah, we can't take much more of this bullshit, man. You parade around town like some kind of fan. Award-winning journalist, nah, just a fraud with valid stuff. Is that the game that you applauded? You ask your chat, what's the hot news today? When the heal, not divide, make the difference worthwhile. Now let's get real, it's time to change the narrative. Stand together, bring the positive imperative. Let's be a voice that speaks for the weak. United we rise, broken cultures can't speak. Yeah. Let's talk about the truth, let's keep it real. Glamour's got a history that's hard to conceal. Turtle boy trolls with that fake account vibe. This is a community, we gotta unite.
All right, what's up? What's up? What's going on? Hang on, we back. That's right. If you donated any money to Trash Barrels, Legal Defense Fund, you can request to get that shit back. I could drop the 411 on that too. But this purple Kool-Aid guy, man. I think he looks better with the fucking lipstick on. He became a fucking mouthpiece all of a sudden. Every now and then, the internet is going to do some crazy shit. Let me see, what is happening here? 1 second. Every once in a while, the internet is going to do something crazy like it's doing now. God damn. So baffling. As long as you can hear me, I guess. Can you all hear me? Sound check, 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 check. Having an option doesn't make you racist. Stop with all the racists. Who said anything about race? Having an option doesn't make you racist. Stop with all the racism. Ouch. Hang on, peeps. I'm just trying to figure out what happened here. All right, there we go. I got that. Oh, I see. Okay. There we are. The purple Kool-Aid guy. So all of a sudden, right, we got the damn purple Kool-Aid guy, right? So he has an online identity. I first seen him on Ray from Dallas's stream, Bitch Boy stream, another Bitch Boy. I seen him on his stream. and he was talking all this shit, and he backed up Ray from Dallas, he backed him right up and talked about the 5150, talked about Meredith. Like Meredith was a freaking gangster. Like Meredith was was a mafia person. His words, not mine, and he basically said that, that Turtle Boy, this guy, they're all victims. These two, they're all victims, and we are the devil. And I was like, bro, like, I think you got that backwards. So this guy, his entire identity is built around defending Bitch Boy, right? With the enthusiasm of maybe auditioning for the role of most dedicated friggin' minion. Like this guy will definitely be front line for a low budget villain movie. Speaking of that, like the way that the Purple Kool-Aid guy talked about Meredith, like she was the last Marvel superhero. Like she was the last one. He tries to be controversial. He tries to be edgy. He sounds like a man that's trying to read damn cue cards with a friggin' crayon. So I mean, he's definitely a big hype man who doesn't know he's in the wrong damn genre. This Purple Kool-Aid guy, he talks like he thinks he's delivered a TED talk. As far as that, the new TED movie is coming out. Like he should be in a gas station parking lot at friggin' 3 a.m. Or Purple Kool-Aid guy reminds me of someone yelling into a Bluetooth headset that isn't even connected. He's not analyzing. He's not informing. He's not even debatable. He's a parrot. He speaks loud with the accuracy of a damn broken GPS, right? I mean, his loyalty. Let's be honest. This man is so deep on Turtle Boy's little turtle, he might as well apply for dual citizenship, Every sentence this guy speaks, it's all pre-approved by Aiden. He doesn't just defend the little weasel boy, he tries to co-play as Turtle Boy's emotional support system. If Turtle Boy jumps, I jump. If Turtle Boy contradicts himself, I'm gonna clap anyway. This guy, Purple Kool-Aid guy, is not a supporter, yo. He's fake. He's fake. His metaphors just pretty much write themselves. I mean, who names themselves after a Kool-Aid? You know what I mean? But purple Kool-Aid? Purple? Not grape? I mean, purple? I always said, get me the red juice. I never said, get me the purple juice. It's like, yo, get the grape. I mean, this guy definitely got to be the off version of the one you find on the bottom shelf, right? With the label that just says purple drink. That's what this guy's identity is. Or back in the day, for those of us that are around 50 piece, right? When you go in the liquor store with grandpa, right? And the beer says beer. It's in a white can with like military beer. That's all it says. That's this guy's identity. It's generic. A contradiction. A legal disaster. It tells you that they're only here to echo anything that their master says. Yes, master. Yes, master. I mean, people are not turning him off because they can't handle the truth. They're turning him off because listening to this guy feels like trying to watch a movie with someone constantly whispering the wrong shit in your ear. You know, he's exhausting to even listen to. It's painfully obvious, and he's definitely trying to impress somebody. Yeah, he's trying to impress Turtle Dick. You know, under the bus. You know, but Purple Kool-Aid, he isn't a villain. He's not even a threat. A byproduct of the chaos that Turtle Boy creates. Look at everybody around him. Everybody around him is the byproduct of shit that he creates. Everybody around him. You can't name somebody in his circle that is not like screwed up royally. Everybody in this guy's circle. Jessica Machado talks about child support, giving her husband head. You know what I mean? Nasty ass shit. You know what I mean? Living with her mother, trying to, you know, fake a fraud like she can, like her mother lives with her. The only mystery is how long is this guy going to keep drinking the Kool-Aid before he realizes he's the only one still sipping it. And speaking of drinking someone's Kool-Aid, Turtle Boy, what's up with that white shit that was on your lip, you freak? You know, the only real mystery, like I said, is how he's going to keep sipping the damn Kool-Aid. I mean, nobody asked for some purple Kool-Aid guy. You know, he didn't grow out of the Free Karen Reed movement. He didn't build credibility over time. He didn't even trust through work. Where's his research? I mean, Turtle Boy don't have no research either. You know, these three peas in a pod. I'll tell you what, though, if Turtle Boy paid $500,000 allegedly, what's Kelsey gonna pay? You know, imagine what Kelsey is gonna pay. This guy's entire personality, right, is basically a favor package, right? It's artificial, it's loud, it's too friggin' sweet, and it dissolves instantly when exposed. You know what I mean? It gets soft. All of a sudden, you're so big, and then when you see these people in your face, they react totally different. Someone asked on the other platform, if we had a charity boxing event, who would you match up with who? If we had a charity boxing event, hypothetically, who would you match up with who? And if you're a content creator, who would you want to match up with? I said a while ago that that Jay Brill, a G note on Jay Brill, that he can knock out either Turtle Boy or Ray from Dallas. No, I don't believe that either. I don't believe that either. You know, and then disrespecting the boots on the ground, that shit's all kind of funky too. You know what I mean? All the dirty shit that Turtle Boy has done. And I don't even know how people can still even fucking rock with them. But you say things loud enough and we the assholes. You know what I mean? We the ignorant ones.
I got the word out that no one else fucking would. And now
This
all
guy
these
lie
cocksuckers.
after
And by the
lie.
way, and as a result of that, I built a gigantic social movement that raised over $1.1 million. Created the infrastructure. There is no fundraiser without me.
Lie after lie. Like I said earlier, there's a lot of great creators that was responsible for the 1.1 million, and you could drop their names in on chat, you know. And I know for a fact that JFK was around the first trial, because the first time I seen JFK was on Mike Crawford's show, and that was during the first trial. So there was a lot of great creators that helped out raise that 1.1 mil.
None. That's what I fucking did. And now all these cocksuckers come out of the woods and they get to police. We're the ones that care about. Where was Randall? Where were Randall and the retards for the first trial? I must have missed them. They just kind of showed up later on YouTube. Didn't really see them at any fundraising events. I don't think they were invited. I don't think Karen wanted that kind of clientele there. You know, that wasn't they weren't invited. I mean, BLT got the invite early on. She needed some other YouTube.
I mean, it seems like as far as credibility, like Karen speaks with them, and she hasn't spoken with you since 2023.
There's some like less controversial ones after I got arrested, quite frankly. You know, I mean, there was Cryford, but Cryford flipped when I was in jail and said that she might be guilty. So he was out, of course. She liked the LV Cops guys. They were legitimate. They were cool. But you know, all these people who stood by when Krusty Panties punked down Karen and called her a murderer, they all just stood there. Because at the end of the day, they're there for the tailgate. They didn't actually do anything. They fucking tailgated. That's what they fucking did. They didn't have to work. So they came down to the fucking court.
They said a JFK and Turtle Boy boxing match expedition. I didn't really see Turtle Boy and JFK. The Glare and Jay Brill. Whoa. That would be interesting right there. The Glare and Jay Brill. I mean, I think they're both tall, but I think Jay Brill is probably a lot more healthier. You know what I mean? So we got Turtle Boy and JFK. I mean, we can't even make that. He said, no match for me. Exactly, you know. Oh, okay. No, they are no match for you. You know, hypothetically, you know, we can't even make JFK and the Turtle Boy the main event. Because what kind of main event would it really be? You know, because personally, I think, I mean, even though JFK is like in his, you know, over 50, but he looks like he's in good shape. You know what I mean? He looks, you know, he goes to the gym all the time. Look at all the swimming the friggin' guy does. You know, and I think just Turtle Boy would be shitting his pants before he even gets in the ring. You know, so really it might even be a technical knockout before a first punch is thrown. You know, but as far as excitement, and then we have, you know, Jay Brill and Glare, according to somebody posted it, you know. Who would we put up against Mike Crawford? You know, and this will all be for charity, you know. I mean, this is something that's not impossible. He's a dead TKO before the first. I would think that James Jackson, shout out to James, would want the Glare, but I think Jay Brill would be willing to step up and take care of that for James. You know, because James is a good dude, man. He really is. You know, the more that I look down the rabbit hole, you know, gotta be wrestling with Mikey, man. Yeah. You know, who would we put up against Mikey? You need Smokey from Friday. You got knocked the fuck out meme. Did anybody ever see the one with James Woods You know, that was a good boxing movie. You know what? JFK might have, because of size, JFK and the Kool-Aid guy we might have to put that as the main event, because Aiden can't be a main event. No way Aiden could be a main event. So maybe you would have to do the purple Kool-Aid guy and JFK. Now again, this is all, exhibition friendly, raise money to your favorite funds, just something to talk about. But yeah, I think the whole chat is cool. Shout out to everybody that's holding it down. When we talk about Turtle Boy and all them guys, they're not here for justice. They're not even here for truth. They're not here for the case. They here just for Aiden's friggin' ego. And I said yesterday that Aiden could have came out of this if he was strategic and if he thought like a businessman. He could have came out of this and he could have built something similar to Barstool. I know he could have got people to invest, and he could have became a platform for change, a platform for justice. I mean, his name was ringing that loud, but no, he has to go back for doing the evil, rotten shit that got him to where he is. When Karen Reed found that creep on a friggin' couch, living out of a book bag. Aiden versus the Rat House dude, even though they friends. The Rat House dude isn't about anything. That dude is so soft. He's not about controversy at all. You know what I mean? So, like, both of them guys, you know what? Aiden and him, I don't even see either one of them walking down to the ring. There might be a trail of piss on both sides. They both treat Turtle Boy like a friggin' celebrity. The Rat House dude and the purple guy. Every live stream, every friggin' rant, every meltdown, he's right there clapping like a friggin' seal. Hoping someone throws him a fish. He's like, pick me, Aiden. Notice me, Aiden. Come on, Aiden. Validate me. Pick me. He's not a supporter. He's just another fanboy with Wi-Fi. And that's why the fanboy with Wi-Fi hooked up with Ray from Dallas. Chester from Dallas. His new name is Chester from Dallas. So, of course, the Kool-Aid guy, who's artificial, you know what I mean? Artificial flavors, he's going to hook up with Chester from Dallas. Because Chester is the blueprint for Turtle Boy's online foot soldier. He's loud. He's fucking chaotic. Always coming up with some crazy conspiracy. They're all allergic to evidence, God forbid. And always ready to attack whoever Aiden points at. Who died and gave Aiden all this power? Who died and gave Aiden all this power? Sometimes I think what happened to Whitey Bulger might be too good for Aiden. He's going to stay behind. He's going to be like, I'm all set. I don't think Ray ever had a place. The only reason Ray, I want to get it out the mud before people say, oh, I had offers to bring people on the platform, but you know what? I think I want to get it. Are you trying to be funny? Oh man, some people, man. But I'm sure there's some people in there that'll take care of that. But Ray is definitely the blueprint for Turtle Boy's online foot soldier. He's loud, he's pathetic, allergic to evidence, ready to attack. And anybody that's not being respectful in the chat, get rid of them. But first, give them like a 24-hour. Because there's too many nice people that come over in this chat, so we're not gonna we can't have no disrespect. But together, the purple guy and Chester from Dallas, they formed a dynamic duo of bad takes. Kind of like Batman and Robin. Yeah, if both of them were just yelling into their phones from parked cars. Because a lot of people will ask you, oh, where the hell did he come from? He has no history in the movement. Absolutely. Chester from Dallas. Let's go. Maybe that's going to be the next song. Yo, chat. We could do what we did to the other song, right? Put it in the chat and we'll make a song out of it. All to the purple Kool-Aid guy. It may take me a day or two to get it all together, but light up the chat with lyrics, and it don't matter if they rhyme or not. I'll take care of that. But light up the chat with some lyrics for the purple Kool-Aid guy, and we'll make a crazy ass diss track, Matter of fact, we'll bring you the last song that the chat came up with. We'll go find it right now because the chat wasn't playing around. They came up with their own song. Ray from Dallas. Well, it was about everybody, actually. This is Turtle Boy down at like the friggin' EBT office. The Dingleberry, Chester the Dingleberry. Chester the Dingleberry. There we go. Chester the Dingleberry.
I like that.
Chester the Dingleberry from Dallas. Say, how you doing? All right, here it is. This was basically, these were all lyrics from the chat.
Yo, Turtle Boy, don't get scared now. Just drop the truth, lay it all down. Turtle Boy, what's the word? Lose your job as a teacher, man, was it absurd? PDFs and papers all scattered on the floor. Heard you were a perv, coaching soccer, now you bored. Resigning the blogging, that's a laughable scene. Lana went over the evidence, truth's really clean. Cries Grove, tangled up in claims, dangling in the air. Hope you don't appeal, but the state ain't gonna care.
Short man, little dick syndrome, causing all the fuss. We don't wanna hear you say trigger to us. Why'd you really get fired from your job? Huh? Cause you're a fraud, then now no problem.
Perryman Motel, cash on demand, hourly rates available, that's the brand. Sewer Turtle and the Sewer Squad, can't we keep it real? This is your reminder, no chance to conceal. They whisper Turtle Boy, living in the lies. Heart of the city, yo, it's all in their eyes.
Turtle Boy, you claim to be something you're not. But deception's the game, man, taking shots at the plot. Caught in the web of your own fake ideals. Guess you thought your charm could seal all the deals. Turtle boy, what's your name? Trying to hide behind nostalgia, but it's all so lame. I see you living in the shadows of your past fights. This is for you, written down on sleepless nights.
Keep it real, don't act like you're the kingpin. Frauds don't last long, better off in the bin. So Turtle Boy, remember where you once were. From teaching kids to heavy blog posts, that's the blur.
So, Turtle boy, don't get scared of the truth, lay bare. Face the music, hit your knees, breathe in the air. This is the hip-hop nod, the tale we bring. Rhyme it all out, Turtle boy, hear the truth sting. Sting, 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 sting.
There you go. There you have it. There you have it. You know, so shout out to everybody. Appreciate that. Turtle Boy's too tight with his money. I bet his ass ain't tight. You know what I mean? Absolutely, man. We're gonna get it out the mud, but we getting close. We getting close. You know, we getting close. The behavior that makes a lot of these people, like, where did they come from? Ray, you're a dingleberry picking up. You don't even pick up dog shit. They need to be picking up some damn dog shit. You know, these guys, they just repeat whatever Turtle Boy says. You know what I mean? They just repeat his bullshit. He's basically a human retweet button. I'll do whatever you say, master. Yes, sir, boss. You know, and I wonder how the people down Dallas think about Ray answering to Turtle. Like, yes, boss. You know, like sucking up to him, going after one of their own, you know, but shout out to Alex. Shout out to everything that Alex has been through. You know, I think in the end it's all gonna come out in the wash. You know, and Turtle Boy's gonna regret everything he ever had to say to Alex, man. I spoke about it. I spoke about it quite often. You know, how I felt about it. People in the chat backed up Alex. We wouldn't allow no disrespect over here. Not when it comes to victims. And then what's Turtle Boy do? He doubles down on Lisa. Talk about Team Cancer. You know what? Screw you. He had me in such a frenzy that day and the day before with all the SMDs. You know what I mean? And I was just getting so upset that I just wanted to see him at a red light. It would have been well worth it. Haven't been in trouble in so long. It would have been in and out. But I was like, I'm not going to let anyone trick me out of my freedom. You know what I mean? But that's the way that he had me, you know, with the SMDs. And then what he said about Lisa the next day about Team Cancer, you know. And that's why I say, like, Turtle Boy's not capable of loving anybody. Not his mother that died of cancer. You know, he may love his kids like every man should love their kids, but I don't think he loves being a father. And what's wrong with him? You can't see your daughter without being supervised? That's not a red flag. That's a red friggin' wall. That's red boundaries. That's more than a red flag, you friggin' weirdo. And please stop me when I'm lying. You know, stop me when I'm lying. We appreciate having Jay Brill up in the chat today. Shout out to Jay Brill, you know. I'm going to look up Jay Brill's football stats. Of course, I come from the high school football community, so I may be able to get over on Max Preps and see if we can find Jay Brill over there, you know. But shout out to Jay. Glad we, you know, had him in the chat today. You know, Chester from Dallas, absolutely great, you know. But shout out to everybody that joined me today. You know, gotta go. Good shit I gotta do. But yeah, everyone, thank you. You know, appreciate you watching. I need to get them watch hours up there. Shout out to everybody that be holding it down. You know, shout out to all the real ones that are out there. You know, shout out to anybody that has court coming up this week. You know, anyone that has a tribunal, maybe parole board. You know, anyone's family members that may be going to court this week. You know, I pray for them and I wish them have, you know, the best outcome. You know, I pray for anybody that's going through, you know, that is a SA victim. Like I said, the worst thing that came out of this whole situation was that other victims are not going to want to come forward now. They were ready to. They seen Alex stand up. They said, wow, look at that dude, so proud. Stood up, believed in his shit. And they stood up and they were getting ready to. And then, right before they left the house, they heard Turtle Boy saying, you ain't no victim. And they were like, whoa, that's why I never told anybody. And I think that's the biggest harm that came out of this whole situation. You know what I mean? That's why I never told anybody, which is crazy. You know what I mean? But shout out to everybody, man. Don't forget to unsubscribe from all these rejects. You know what I mean? We out. You know, we got to play a little music, break it down.